Hi, Lauren. So here's some directions on how to work in GIMP to create a banner. So here we are in GIMP. It's opened up, and I want to open up my file. So I'm going to go File, um, Open, and here's the file that I want to use. Notice it's a PSD file here, so it's a Photoshop file. This is what I'll send you. I'm going to send you this file, and then you open it. And you'll get this convert to RGB working space. It's just a color space, so we're just going to hit convert. Okay, so now you have your file and your layers, and over here you have this is your layers palette. And if I turn these on and off, you can see there's different images in here. Now these images have been sized down, and so they fit in the space. And then this is the background layer, which is on top. And the layer order matters. If you put a layer above another one, this one, you'll see it goes over a little bit of the black. And if I choose the move tool here, which is right here, then I can move this layer around. I can drag it around in here. Okay. So, but these are finished items. Let's open up a new image, even though it's one we've used before. So what I want to do is I want to go File, Open, and I have, shoot, where's the gold image that I have? I gotta find that image. Hold on a second. Okay, so you're gonna open another image. I have it in my, it's in my recent, but you can just File, Open it. So I'm gonna open this gold JPEG image. It's gonna ask me the same thing about the color space. Convert it. Okay, so now I have another image here. You see your layer, there's just one layer with this one. You can turn it on and off. And then up here, you go between your two files. One is your template, one is the file that you want. Now, the easiest way I find to get an image from one to the next, because we want to get this image over to the next size. I'm gonna do this. We want to select the whole layer. So I'm going to hit Select All, and then we want to hit. You can hit Command C, or you can go Copy, Command C. And then we want to change to the other document, and we want to go Edit, Paste as New Layer. You paste it as a new layer, and you see, okay, here's your image. It's way too big at this point, but your image is there. And it's selected. So then if we have the Move tool, we can move it around. But what we need to do is resize it. So what we're going to do here is this gets a little bit, since the image is so big, here's the edge of the image. What I want to do is I want to resize it. So I want to go, and we want the Transform tool. Unified Transform tool. So we're going to choose this tool. And you see that tool is lit. And we want to click in here. And this gets a little bit tricky, but you want to see how the cursor changes a little bit. And then you want to click and drag. And you're resizing the image. Then, after I let go, I can then move it back so that I can resize it down more, because we need it to fit in that space. So I'm going to resize it a little bit more. And then I'm going to position it over here. Transform. Now that I've set it, and you want to click this little box here where it says Transform. So we've done all this, and we've resized it, and now it's in this layer. Now, if I put this below my background layer, we get half the image taken up by that. If I put the background layer below this one, you can see that the image bleeds over it onto the background, which is not what we want. So you want to keep the background layer at the top here when you're doing this. Now, I've resized the image. Oops. Now I can move it around a little bit. So I go back to my move tool, and I can adjust it around depending on how you want to do this. I know this image isn't perfect, but it gives you the sense of what you need to do. And then once you have it set, then what you want to do is you want to go File, Save As, and we want to select the file type by extension. So we want to save, oops, I'm sorry. We want to save our, let's cancel this, do this one more again. First thing we want to do is probably save our files. We want to save. And save it wherever you want, and it's going to change. So it's Smash Banners Template V3, and notice it's got a new extension, XCF, because that's the GIMP extension. So we want to save your file that way. Now, we want to export this file, export image, show all file types. Nope. Select file types by extension, and scroll through here, and we want to save it as a JPEG image. Okay, export. And it's going to bring up your quality here. And we want a high quality, but you don't have to go crazy. You can take a look. 80 is probably good. And we don't want any of this extra stuff because that just makes the image larger. File size wise, and we want them to be as fast as possible. And then you want to click export, and our image has been exported. So now if I go to my here we have gold banner 2.jpg, which was that the one that was just exported? No, this is what was exported. See, Smash Banners Template v3.jpg, because I started with the PSD file, and then I saved the XCF file, and it exported it with the same name, but as a JPEG. So that's your JPEG that you can then use in the Shopify interface and save it as your banners. That's it. It's not the most user-friendly interface, but I think for doing this, it'll be pretty easy for you once you get into the habit of it. Okay, bye.